Hi everyone. I gave a talk yesterday at the Variant 420 memes hackathon, and I didn't record it then, but I wanted to just record a version of it today so that folks can see the kind of and hear the overview of this deck. So hey everyone, super excited to be here. I'm Jesse. I'm talking about based memes and how they fit into the larger on-chain economy that we're building. So I'm just going to talk through this at a high level. First off, I'll start with kind of what is the base on-chain economy? How do we think about it? Then I'm going to kind of dig into like how do base memes fit in? What's their role? And then we won't have Q&A, but if you want to ask me a question, feel free to do that. You can just drop it on Twitter or Warpcast or wherever you prefer. So the first thing I always like starting with is kind of what are we building at a high level with base? And that really starts with the vision, which is that we want to bring the entire world on chain. And the way we're going to do that, our mission, and the reason why we're going to do that is because we want to build a global on-chain economy that increases innovation, creativity, and freedom. And so by bringing all of the builders, 1 million builders and 1 billion users into that on-chain economy, we're going to make a massive positive impact through those increases in innovation, creativity, and freedom that everyone's going to get from being a part of that kind of global connected economy that they don't have today. So just to kind of help ground what that actually means, I'm going to talk through a little bit of what is an economy, how do we think about it, what are the component parts, and then how can we actually compare that to other economies that have existed in our society today and kind of how base compares and contrasts to them. So first thing, and let me just move myself here. So base is an economy. It's comprised of 3 components. The first component is the platform. It's kind of what sits at the bottom of the economy. We create block space, and then other people build things in that block space on chain. So this is really a developer platform. We're offering EVM block space. We're giving people a bunch of great tools to make it really easy for them to build on-chain applications that everyone can use. The next layer of the economy is an ecosystem of apps. These are the apps that all those people build on the platform. And people, both businesses and consumers, kind of come together and they use those on-chain apps to achieve their goals. Whether that's creating or running a business or selling something or trading or borrowing or sending money. They're using all of these apps that people are building on the developer platform to accomplish what they're trying to in their day-to-day life. And then the third part of the economy is the market. And this is a mix of both financial and non-financial liquidity, kind of everyone using those apps and bringing value into the base economy. And so this can be things like people trading, can be borrow and lending. It could also be bringing kind of liquidity like their creativity into the market. And those things are going to kind of trade. They're going to have a value as well. There's going to be more kind of activity in this economy if more people are bringing all kinds of kind of output, whether it's financial or non-financial, into this economy and building a really, really rich market. And so those are really the 3 parts of the base economy that we think about: the platform, the ecosystem, and then the market. And one of the really kind of good ways I think about thinking about this is comparing and contrasting that base economy and those 3 components with other economies that we've actually seen built in the world to date. So one that I like to kind of compare to is the Web 2, Apple economy. So again, here you have a platform. This is the iOS developer platform. You have an ecosystem. These are all the iOS apps in the App Store. And then you have a market. This is all of the value and all the revenue and kind of monetary flows kind of flowing through those apps. Now, there's some pretty big differences with the kind of Apple platform. First off, on the platform side, it's exclusive to Apple. So if you build an iOS app, you can't take that somewhere else. You can only deploy on Apple's platform. And then it's also fully locked down. So every app that is being published has to go through Apple's review process. That can be pretty laborious. And sometimes they make decisions like being really restrictive on crypto, which is kind of stifling innovation, I think, today in the Apple economy. In the ecosystem, again, there's kind of some access concerns here. If you don't have an iPhone, you cannot use the Apple ecosystem of iOS apps. You're just shit out of luck. And then finally on that market, Apple acts as a single kind of actor who gets to control it all. Today, they're taking something like 30% of all of the value flowing through it. And businesses don't actually have much of a kind of reprieve or an ability to do anything about that. There's stuff that's kind of working through antitrust in the EU and the United States, but it's very slow. And for the most part, this market is kind of controlled by one corporation. So some real drawbacks, obviously, of that market, although it's also obviously been a huge hugely valuable thing for kind of growing the overall online economy. So that's one economy that we can compare the base economy to. Another one is you can kind of compare it to a country. So the United States, for instance, the platform is kind of the platform of governance and infrastructure that lets people build in the United States. The ecosystem is kind of all of those businesses that people build in the United States that other citizens and residents use to come together and achieve their goals. And then finally, the market is the United States kind of capital markets with the dollar. And again, there's drawbacks to this economy. The platform, it's mostly only accessible to U.S. citizens. So if you're born outside the U.S., you're a non-resident, you're going to have a hard time starting a business in the United States, actually leveraging that platform to build something. Again, the ecosystem, similarly, if you're not a United States citizen or a resident or have lived there for a long time, you're going to have a hard time using that ecosystem of apps. For instance, if you move to the United States, you won't have credit. That will restrict you from participating in huge kind of swaths of the financial system, the financial ecosystem of products in the United States. And then finally, that market, again, here, the United States government controls the market. I think there's a lot of great things that the United States government has done to facilitate a healthy market. But there's also things where I think it's, not going the right way. For instance, with crypto, I don't think that we're seeing effective policies that are driving really good outcomes for kind of stimulating a healthy market. And so we can then compare kind of that Web 2 market and economy, that kind of country economy, to the base economy, an open, neutral, global economy. And I think what we see is that there's a lot of advantages to this new economy that we're building. On the platform side, it's an open standard, it's EVM. So if you decide that you want to go somewhere else, you can go somewhere else. You can take your code, you can deploy it on another chain. It's global, it's accessible to everyone. If you have an internet connection, you can build on Base. At the ecosystem layer, again, if you have an internet connection, you can use these apps. You don't need to be a United States citizen. You don't need to have an iPhone. Anyone, anywhere is on a level playing field participating in this economy. And then finally, the market is a free market that we can gradually build decentralized governance into to kind of ensure that it's healthy, that it operates well. And it doesn't have those kind of same, really, really high kind of take rates that I think you're seeing in the more kind of corporate Web 2 economies like with Apple. And so that the opportunity to build an open, neutral, global economy, and one that we really think can increase innovation, creativity, and freedom is really what Base is all about. And as we think about how we're getting there, you can see our values on the left. I'll dig into the stay-based one in particular. But on the strategy side, that's exactly how we think about it as well. We're going to build a really powerful developer platform that makes it so anyone can build world-class on-chain products. We're going to nurture that ecosystem of apps so everyone has a reason to be on-chain. We're going to foster a super, super deep capital market so that Base becomes the center of this kind of interconnected, multi-chain, on-chain economy. And then finally, we're going to decentralize and scale to enable everyone to come on-chain. And so those are kind of the things that the Base team, the Base core team is working on day to day that ladder up into our mission of building that global on-chain economy that increases innovation, creativity, and freedom. And I think the kind of crazy thing in working on this and seeing this is that I think we believe that if we're successful and we do this work, we can build the largest economy that the world's ever seen. And build something that really brings everyone in and creates so much economic opportunity and freedom that hasn't existed thus far, but is really like right on the edge of being possible for everyone in the world. And so that's the kind of context of the economy. Now, how do Base memes fit in? There's been a lot of conversation about memes in the last few months. There's been a ton of energy on Base. And so I want to kind of frame how memes fit into this broader economy that we're building. And I'd say a starting point for us is that we're seeing a super vibrant economy emerge on Base of memes. You have hundreds of teams and hundreds of kind of subcultures that are evolving, that have shown up, that are building, that are creating, that are kind of bringing their culture and energy into this economy, this ecosystem, this capital market that we're building on Base. And there's a lot of talk about, the pros and cons of memes. But one thing that I think has really stood out to us is that we are seeing these memes today onboard thousands and thousands of people into this new economy. This is the chart of just DEX users per day. You can see that it's more than 4x in the last while. And I think every day from all the conversations that I'm having out in the ecosystem, memes are one of the big drivers for actually bringing new people in. And obviously speculation plays some role in this, but I think the thing that has really made me optimistic and excited about what we're seeing in Base is that the primary way that these memes are bringing people in is through creativity. You have people creating new tutorials. That's on top left with Hi. They built an incredible little funny tutorial, show people how to set up their wallet. You have people running contests. Ski. They ran a contest to define what is Based. It got a ton of good submissions. You have brands being built around Hire, doing incredible visuals. Shrines being created. On the bottom left. People made a whole video where like 10 of them went up into the woods and built a shrine to the base god, and you have all these memes building together. So this is a graphic that someone on the Weirdo team built, showing all the memes working together. And in general, I'd say the aim of these folks is to bring more people into their specific meme, and the way they're doing that is by activating their community and then trying and experimenting with a ton of different creative pursuits that they believe could reach everyday people. And what that's creating is kind of a Cambrian explosion of onboarding experiments where people are taking tons and tons of shots on goal to say, how do we get our culture into the hands of more people? And I've absolutely loved seeing that. And I think the thing that we've built more conviction on is that in the years ahead, we're actually going to see these memes onboard millions more people. They're going to be one of the biggest drivers because they're doing that work kind of constantly to onboard more and more folks and to do that in a really creative way. And so the last note that I'll leave everyone who watched in on this with is that if you're kind of building on Base and you're building a meme, my encouragement to you would be to keep building, keep shipping really cool things, keep being creative, and then stay based. And when we say stay based, it really means 5 things. It means first, do the right thing. Treat the people who are in your community well, be ethical, don't do things that are illegal or malicious, do the right thing, live by good, healthy values. The second is work hard. It's not going to be easy to bring the world on chain. It's actually going to be really, really hard. We have to go from the low millions of people who are on chain today to billions of people. And that's going to be a journey. There's going to be ups and downs. And so don't be afraid to kind of put your nose to the grindstone and really push hard to get things done. The third is be optimistic. The future is bright, and there's so much opportunity for what we can do if we believe in that future, and we believe in each other, and we believe in what we can accomplish by working together. Which brings me to the fourth one, which is putting the team over the individual and saying, this is not just about me, this is not just about my outcomes, this is about all of us coming together, because when we come together, we can accomplish a lot more than we can accomplish by ourselves. And then the final one, and I think this one really comes through with memes, is don't be afraid to push boundaries. And don't be afraid to push boundaries with creativity so that you're doing something no one else has done before. Because when we look at what it's going to take to bring 1 billion people on chain, it really is going to be that incredible creativity that people all over the world come up with, where they're experimenting, they're trying, they're failing, they're learning, and they are doing everything they possibly can to bring people on chain. And so with that, that's the talk. Happy Sunday. I hope you enjoyed this if you watched it, and stay based. And if you have questions, feel free to drop them on Farcaster on Twitter and reply to this video. And if you want to get building, really encourage you to join /base on Farcaster. You can join our Discord at base.org/Discord. And find some way to get started. One of the sayings in Base land is build more, talk less. And really what that's all about is it's about finding a small way to ship something cool, impactful, that will move your goals forward, and using that as an entry point to get building a lot more. So happy Sunday. I hope everyone has a great day, and stay based. Thanks, y'all.